Maido! Hi there, Japan fans! In today's show, we're going to talk about questioning our audience. Preseno Master Shimasho. This is the fourth year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast. We're beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, a best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. My new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be ready early 2021. Now, through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Now, don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. Now, we are not being sponsored by Libsyn, sadly, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcasts all hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here's the daily lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Touches In no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. Every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 223. And we are talking about how to question your audience. Presentations have become tediously monochrome. The speaker speaks. The audience sit there passively, taking it all in. After the speaker's peroration, they get to offer up a few questions for about 10 to 15 minutes or so, and then that is the end of it. With the pivot to online presentations, the fabric of the presentation methodology hasn't changed much. We sit there, peering at the little boxes on screen, hearing a monotone voice droning on. We listen to inquiries from others submitted beforehand, or we may actually get an open mic opportunity to ask our questions directly, although that has been rather rare. We may be directed to the chat to make our question known to the organisers. The formula is basically the same and has been the same since our antediluvian origins. Why can't speakers vary their presentations to sometimes include more interaction? Why does it always have to be the same format? Obviously, we have to pick our moment to go off piste. The audience composition, the topic of the talk, and the organiser's latitude for doing something different will be factors for consideration. One of the tricky aspects of asking questions of your audience is getting people to contribute and to do so in a way that they can be heard by everyone. The obvious answer is to have a team of your people armed with handheld mics, which they can ferry at warp speed to the individual asking the question. Here is a word to the wise. You should choose who you want to question, but also allow some freestyling as well. Events where the guests are seated at round tables are great for this, and long rows of schoolroom type seating are not. We are not switching the presentation to a continuous dialogue with the audience. That is a different type of presentation altogether. I am talking about livening up a standard presentation with more interaction with the audience. The reason you select the people is because it allows you to control the affair more closely. It's also more surgical. You know who is in the room, and there may be some people who are very well informed, articulate, and confident. That type of individual would be a prime target. We have 5 arrows in our question quiver. If we want a yes or no answer, then the closed question is ideal. It might be regarding a fairly macro question that would have relevancy for everyone in the audience. Should Tokyo continue to pursue the holding of the Olympic Games this year? Would be an example. In this case, we can ask the entire audience the question. We can ask for a show of hands as to whether they agree with the point or not. I have been to some events where two-sided paddles have been distributed to each seat beforehand, with one side saying yes and the other no. A simpler method is just ask those who agree to raise their hands. Then, after that, ask those who disagree to raise theirs. Everyone can clearly see the survey results immediately in real time. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do them live online, or we do them in our super safe classroom. We do them in Japanese, we do them in English. Today's show is sponsored by some of our programs. On the 12th of February, in our professional leadership series, we're doing Disagree Agreeably. Also on the 12th of February, we're doing Time Management. On the 19th of February, in our professional leadership series, we're doing Performance Evaluation. And also on the 19th, The Art of Storytelling. You can find out more about these programs on our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Lots and lots of value there for you. If you want to do better in Japan, email me, greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, and we have over 1,000 for you at Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We're releasing 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premier business show in Japan, comes out every Monday. Fridays we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on the topic of leading in Japan. Every second Thursday we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, get my book, The Bible on Selling, Japan Sales Mastery, and also Japan Business Mastery, both on Amazon. And my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be ready soon in early 2021. Welcome back. The open question cannot be answered by a yes or no answer and requires an actual answer. What do you think about? How do you feel about? This is why selecting your interlocuteur is a good idea. If you select one of the punters at random, you may be putting someone on the spot. Next thing, they are spluttering away, lost and wholly embarrassed. They will hate you forever. If only you are selecting the people, then there is a suspicion you are using Sakura or stooges in the audience whom you have cunningly planted beforehand. So it is also wise to open the floor up as well to those brave and informed enough to offer their opinion. Don't worry, if no one goes for it, you have at least demonstrated your embrace of true democratic ideals of free speech. If the opportunity presents itself, we can ask a follow-up question to take the discussion down a few more layers for deeper insight. Often, people will give a high-level answer, and it's more interesting to get them to go further with their thinking, experience, or detail. We have to be careful this doesn't become a dialogue between some person in the audience and the presenter. The danger is everyone else is sitting there bored out of their minds and feeling excluded. Probably one of those follow-up questions per talk is about the right distribution. From within these dialogues, we can take a person's viewpoint and floodlight it to the entire audience. We can ask those who've had a similar experience to raise their hands. Now we've switched from the micro discussion between two people to a macro level of involvement of the whole audience. This is a good way of overcoming the feeling of exclusion by those listening. We can also go the other way and spotlight a question. Someone made a point, and we can then call out someone else in the audience for their experiences. We have to be careful we don't ignite a war of words between the members of the audience. Rather than call for their opinion or views or evaluation of the previous speaker's comments, we should ask what has been their experience. This will keep the potential fireworks contained for the most part. One thing to note is when we ask people for their comment, please have patience. Once we ask the question, don't expect an immediate answer. People process these issues at different speeds, and so if there is a silence, let it hang there for at least 15 seconds. Don't jump in unless you have to, in order to allow that person to gather their thoughts and respond. If they're obviously lost, then rescue them and give them a question which they can easily answer to save face. We need to select people carefully, and if it is not the best selection, we have to have a plan B. Questions have potential to engage with our audience and create more interaction. We must plan it carefully, though, because it could lurch into a train wreck. Planning and good preparation are the keys. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast on iTunes. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today. Become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for listening. Please tune in next week. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy. I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.